Today guys, I'm going to be showing you how you can use Midjourney. I'm going to go through all the navigation menus, how I set up my prompts to get the best results. As I get into this, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm going to assume that you've already got a Midjourney account to start with, so obviously make sure you're signed in. You're going to end up with something that will look like this right here. Okay, now with this, there's several different options that we can explore on the left-hand side of the menus, and then different things that we can explore across the top. Okay, so we're going to start things off just by basic navigation, so you can understand how to look around, what to explore, what you're looking at, and then we're going to go through how you might actually go ahead and create a prompt and, create some images or videos that you kind of want to do with Midjourney. Okay, so let's start things off with the left-hand menu here. Okay, so you obviously have Midjourney, homepage, etc. The first thing you will see is Explore. Okay, now within the Explore tab, or option here, the menu option, you'll be presented with what you see right here. And these are, different things that other people have created with Midjourney, and some of them are pretty fantastic, right? You can see that there are different tabs across the top here as well, such as random. It's going to give you some random stuff that's being created, and you can kind of see the different things that are going on. You've got the hot, what's going on right now, top for the day, which is over here, and then any likes, which I haven't actually got any. Okay, so I haven't liked anything. It's kind of like a brand new account. Okay, so if we click on random, we're just going to get some random stuff appear here, such as anger from, I think it's Inside Out. And then, of course, you've got some other stuff that's just going on. Now, if you go ahead and click on here, you can see, kind of what's driven this version, right? Now, a lot of these are V7s, as you can kind of see here. And you can see it says two blonde white girls in their 20s wearing different colored sunglasses in the daytime in a small, Scandinavian style town, one of them hugging the other one from behind. And that's exactly what Midjourney has gone ahead and created. So you can see the prompt that kind of drove out this this image. Now, it's not going to be 100% right because sometimes there are reference images that are put in, but for the most part, you can see kind of what's driven this image just by clicking on it. And you can see that from this random area, or the hots, or the top days. Basically the ability to explore Midjourney and what has been created. Go ahead and just click this one here. You can see here, I want a round panel in stained glass style on which there is a dog with a witch hat on Halloween. And you can see exactly what Midjourney has basically taken from that and created. So you can see it does some pretty decent, pretty good job from, a very kind of basic prompt, right? Okay. At the top here, you have the ability to basically create an image, but we're going to talk more about that in a moment. You also have the ability to randomize images, videos, and obviously different things at the top here as well. We're going to get to all of those different options across the top later when we go to actually create something. So we're going to go ahead and skip over the create area because we're going to come back to that in a moment. We're going to go over to the edit area. Now, the edit area basically lets you edit a pre-existing image. Maybe that image came from outside of Midjourney, right? And you can see here that I have not used this before, but you can see here it says, welcome to the Midjourney image editor. And the Midjourney image editor lets you modify, expand, or reimagine imagery uploaded from your computer. So if you've got an image that you want to alter, edit in some way, remove the background of, maybe you want to expand the background, maybe you want to enhance it, you can basically do that here with this tool. Okay, you can use images from outside Midjourney, so editing is done through text prompting and region selecting. It's compatible with model personalization, it's style references, character references, and image prompts. You can retexture images as well. You can use the retexturing mode to basically keep the shape the same, but modify the lighting, the surface materials, and the textures. Okay, so this is where we start to get into a little bit more advanced stuff. Okay, and obviously please accept the terms of services. I'm going to go ahead and say that yes, I've read all that. I'm going to start creating. So then you end up with this area just here. You can edit an image from a URL, or you can upload an image here as well. Okay, I'm not going to go through this one in detail today, but do let me know in the comments down below if you want a tutorial on how to edit a pre-existing image that you upload from your computer. But otherwise, I think it's going to be relatively straightforward. It's very similar to how you would create an image, but this time, of course, you're going to be editing a pre-existing one. But if you want a tutorial on it, let me know in the comments. Okay, Personalize. Now, this is the next option on your menu on the left-hand side. Now, Personalize is actually really, really useful. Okay, so this is where you're going to be shown several different images, or thousands of images if you keep doing this. And what it'll do is it will personalize your personal style. So when you go ahead and create something, it's going to create it in the style that you want. Now you can create multiple different types of styles. You can see here I've got a global V6 profile, for example. We obviously have the V7, and we can go ahead and create a global profile as well on this. We can go ahead and click it. What it's going to do is it's going to show you 2 images, and your job is to basically just pick one that you prefer over the other. Okay, so in this particular instance, I actually kind of prefer this one over here on the left, so I'm going to go ahead and give that click. And then I like this one over this one, so I'm going to go ahead and click the comic book style. From here, I like the cat over that one. I actually like the futuristic side, although this is pretty cool as well, so I'm probably going to give that a click. And if you click too fast, it's going to kind of just say you have to wait for the images to load, so you have to give it a few minutes. From here, you can see that 2 different images. I'm going to click this one. What one do I prefer here? I prefer this one. Which one of these do I prefer? I actually prefer this one. I prefer this one. I prefer this one. Here again, I've clicked it, but it's going to just take a moment to reload the next set of images. From here, I kind of like this one, more realistic. I actually kind of really like this one as well. And I like the sci-fi element there. I like the biscuits there. And tough call, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one here. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to keep going through all of these images until we finally kind of finish the personalization. Now you can see at the top here, this is your global V7 profile, and it's 17 of 200. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do this, and then I'll meet you back here in just a moment. Okay, and so once you've done with your personalization, you'll now have a new profile. You can obviously continue to create more profiles, or you can of course continue to train that existing model as well. Okay, but once you've got that, we'll go into the create later, where you can actually see how to use the profile. Okay, so it's a bit tedious, but the more that you train the AI to your kind of style, what you kind of prefer, then the better results that you're going to get. So it's kind of worth kind of doing, right? And obviously we have the V7 profile. I obviously have my V6 already, so we've just done a V7 now. Okay, moving back to our left hand side here, we have the organization. This is where we can organize the different things that we've liked, to different types of images or videos that we have created and so forth. I've only actually created one set of images here, ultra realistic images, which we're going to get to in a moment as well. Okay, then there's the chat function. So in here, it's basically just chat with other people and the kind of things that they're doing. You can also see the different prompts and stuff, and basically hints and tips, and basically you can just communicate with people. You've got general chaos, you've got the prompt craft here, where they talk about how to kind of generate things and what kind of prompts you want to do, daily themes, and obviously a section as well for the newbies, which are all the way down here as well. So it's kind of worth checking those out, spending some time going through them and learning what other people are doing and how they're doing it, how they're approaching it, because there's never going to be one way that's perfect when it comes to this stuff. So kind of taking a look at how other people do things and incorporating that into your own style could be fantastic. And then you've got tasks at the bottom here as well, such as rank videos, images, this kind of stuff. Now I'm not going to go through that, but you can explore all of that as much as you want. Let's go over to the create then, because ultimately I'm sure you're itching to actually get created or to get creative with your let's get your creative juices flowing and actually create some images or some videos, right? So here with the create section, we have the prompt at the top, almost like where you would type in your website address or URL, whatever, right? Is where you kind of put your prompt. And inside here, you can attach images if you wanted to, and you have different settings. So if we click on settings here, you can see that you can have a portrait, you can have it square, you could have it landscape. Okay, now typically I tend to find that landscape is great. Square is better if you're going to be doing some kind of like profile picture, or portrait if it's going to be like a person and stuff like that. Personally, I just generally leave it on landscape, and we don't mess around too much with the aesthetics. Stylization is 100, weirdness is down at 0, and variety is down at 0. Now you can mess around with these settings depending on your own style. Now, ultimately, I like the kind of more realistic personally, at least the realistic kind of look and feel of the images, so I tend to have the stylization at 100 and the weirdness and the variety down at zeros. However, if you want something a little bit more weird and wacky, well, you won't want to put the weirdness scales up. You might want the stylization down, or maybe even crank it a little bit higher. As you kind of tweak these little settings, you're going to end up with vastly different results. So start small and then make it and tweak it to where you want it to be personally, okay? Then down here you've got the model. We're on 7, as you can kind of see. You can change this to 6.16 or lower models if you want to. Otherwise we leave it on standard version. 7 is what we're looking for, okay? And so that's kind of what the settings are that I use, but again, you can, by tweaking these, you're going to end up with vastly different results. Now, if we come over to here where we have personalization, we can turn it off and we can turn it on, right? So what that basically means is the AI that we were just training, right? We're training it to basically create images or videos as per our own personal style, right? The more that we kind of do in terms of selecting which image we prefer, the better that the AI is going to get at giving you exactly what you're looking for. Okay, now you can see when this is off, it's just white, and when we turn it on, it turns into a kind of like I guess orangey pink kind of P. Now from here, of course, you can see that the profile that we have selected is the global V7 profile that we just created for this video. And of course, you can rate more of images to personalize it even more, okay? So that's that. You obviously have draft mode, which creates much faster but only draft quality images. And then you have the conversational mode, so you can basically iterate your prompts over text or voice, right? But for the most part, we're not going to do that. Now, as you can kind of see here, this is the prompt that we've used previously. I'm going to do the same prompt again, just inside here, but I'm going to tweak it ever so slightly, okay? Now, this prompt is broken down into a few key areas, right? First of all, it's what is it that we're trying to create, right? We want a portrait photography, okay? We want it of a young woman. I'm going to say we want a young blonde woman because we've already got a brunette here. So we're going to go blonde woman, you know, deep in thought with, oh, not like that. Let me actually hit the right button because I can't see the keyboard. It doesn't help, does it? With a friend, with her female friend, you know, and I'm going to say there's like an action after this. So once you've described what it is that you want, which is a portrait photography of a young blonde woman deep in thought with her female friend, you need to give them an action. So they are both holding a mug of hot chocolate. The shot then after that is going to be a close-up shot, and then we're going to say that it's in a retro-themed cafe. Now we could change this to let's say Starbucks cafe, something like that. Wearing, and then you have to give them some clothing if you want to, of course. This is just kind of, if you want something really specific, this is how I tend to do it. So you'd basically tell them that you need some kind of clothing, and then preferably from a year, so that kind of the AI can really kind of hone in. So I'm going to leave that as bohemian style clothing from 2024. This is optional. You don't really have to do this, but it does help kind of frame what it is that you're trying to do, which is basically tell the AI what camera and what camera lens to use. And if there's a photographer that you like the style of, you can also throw that into the mix here. So in this particular case here, we're saying it's a Kodak camera with a Canon EOS R5, and it's shot by a photographer called Peter, right? Now this is optional. You don't have to have this section in here, but it does give you the kind of exactly what it is that you're looking for, right? If there's a particular, you know, photographer that you really like the style of how they shoot, and you know the camera and the lens that you want to kind of have the shot done on, well, this really does kind of make it exactly like that, okay? So it's kind of really great way to kind of really hone in on the image, makes it exactly what you're looking for. And of course, then we have to give it some kind of emotion to kind of capture everything, and the lighting as well, right? So the image should capture serenity and nostalgia with soft, diffuse lighting and warm, muted undertones, okay? This basically just means that we can control how that lighting looks within our images. And again, it's kind of optional, but I would say that you're going to end up with some pretty weird results results if you don't have it. Okay, so with all that done, once you've kind of crafted your prompt and you kind of have it structured out, so you're setting the scene as to what it is that you're trying to do, who is in the scene, what they are doing in the scene, how close is the shot, where are the actual models located, what kind of clothing are they wearing, what kind of camera and camera lens are you looking at, and what's the lighting like. After you've done those things, you can actually create a pretty decent image. So we're going to go ahead and hit submit, and this is going to then basically create some images, 4 images in fact, of just that kind of scene that we're looking for here. Okay, and again, the same concept applies to videos, but we're going to see what this one comes up with first. You can kind of see it's going through the process here, and it's actually a really interesting, quite fascinating to see how it is applying our personalization styles to, the prompt that we've put in here. And so far, I think that's actually not a very bad job. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one here. So we can see we have this blonde woman with her friend in the back, both deep in fault. You can see that they have got hot cocoa there as well. If we come over to this one here, you can see again another blonde woman with her friend in the background. Again, because you were using the camera as well, you can see how it diffuses the background as well, and the lighting is also looking pretty decent. Here as well, again, looking right at the camera, her friend is here, a cup of hot chocolate in hand. The clothing, the scene, it just kind of comes together really, really well. And here's another one as well. So that's kind of how you would go ahead and create images here. Now, obviously, this is a great prompt and great personalization for creating kind of ultra realistic images, right? Kind of what Midjourney is kind of used to doing. But if you want something slightly different, then obviously you're going to use a slightly different prompt. So, it might be a futuristic cube, for example, floating above the ground, lighting coming in from the left, shadow cast down, all that kind of stuff, right? As long as you have what it is you're trying to create, video, photography, whatever it may be, who's in the scene or what's in the scene, what action is happening within the scene, where the camera should be, is it close up, far away, what is the actual scene, the background, what is that looking like? If it is a human model, what kind of clothing are they wearing? If it's not, maybe it's an animal, what does that animal look like? And then it's the camera lens, any particular style by a famous photographer, for example. And then of course lighting. How is that lighting affecting the object in the shot, right? If you capture all of those elements into your prompt, then you're going to end up with some really, really good results. So that's going to kind of wrap up, I think, this kind of brief kind of beginner's tutorial to Midjourney, how to navigate it and how to kind of get started. And if you use something really specific that you're looking for, let me know in the comments down below. And guys, that's how essentially you would use Midjourney. Now, I know this was a bit of a beginner's tutorial on how to kind of navigate your way through Midjourney and how to kind of craft a few prompts, how to do some personalization. But if you do want something a little bit more specific, let me know in the comments down below. If you found this useful and informative in any way, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more hints and tips, and I'll catch you all in the next one.